With only 4 rounds left in the regular season, a top-of-the-table clash like this one does carry enormous psychological weight into the finals. At this stage, Canberra trying to consolidate its spot in the top 5, while Canterbury was aiming to jump into outright second behind the Brisbane Broncos. A quick look at the lineups, and Raiders fans shocked to see Laurie Daly start at fullback to cover the injured Ken Nagus, while Royston Lightning was called in to replace Brett Mullins, also out injured. The Bulldogs, they had an even more disrupted preparation for the game. Coach Chris Anderson forced to make at least 6 positional changes, but I'm sure the last thing he would have expected was to have to adjust his match plan to cope with Daly way out of position at fullback. The major changes, though, for them were Hetherington into hooker, Hamono into the starting lineup and Berrigan at fullback. As we go to the kick-off, Footy Tab was offering 7.5-point start to the Bulldogs.
Thank you, Peter, as Simon Gillies leads his team out for, as the boys have already described, a most important encounter. And, of course, there could be, at the end of the rainbow, the valued spot at the top 3 of the Telstra Cup. Daryl Halligan will play his part, and Solomon Hamono tonight in the run-on side. In fact, Barry Ward, Solomon Hamono, both in the run-on side, with Mitch Newton and Robert Relf coming off the bench. Canterbury Bulldogs on 16 points, lying third. And Canberra just 2 points away. But in fact, they have been leapfrogged by the Hunter Mariners on percentages with their win earlier in the weekend. Travis Norton will play at 5'8" in jumper number 42. Glenn Hughes out of the side together with John Timu. Martine plays in the centres. Sky Channel New Zealand joining us again for our Monday night Super League coverage, and a very big welcome to you. Our weather conditions probably no warmer than yours tonight from the nation's capital in Canberra, and a smallish crowd. Or that's a good section of it really, but a smallish crowd on hand, all rugged up like that lady. She's brought the doona with her. Settle in, really enjoy the existing climate. Canberra taken out by Ricky Stewart. They got a fine record against Canterbury here at Bruce Stadium. They've won their last 5 encounters. Canterbury haven't won here since 1990. David Boyle coming out of the end of the team. He will play in the centres, and Jason Croker will play on the wing. Ricky Stewart, the captain. And Priddis, what a year for him. That is Lightning on the wing tonight. Ken Nagus not playing, and neither is Brett Mullins. Speaking of New Zealand and you people over there, of course, he's had a magnificent year, Quentin Ponga. Bill Harrigan's the referee. So Monday night and the completion of round 14. Canterbury versus Canberra, and Barry Ward it is, the first of the Canterbury players to bring it back. He's put down about 17 or 18 metres away from his own line for Solomon Hamono to make the second play.
It's an interesting formation from Canberra starting this game. Laurie Daly is actually back at fullback as Barry Ward takes at centre field, 35 out, and Ed Druku is on the wing, and Boyle and Croker in the centres at the moment.
Polomata electing to kick on an early tackle, and the bounce awkward, and taking Laurie Daly back inside the 10-metre line. Daly to play it just inside his red zone. As Bradley Clyde gets his first touch of the night. Interesting to read the comments of coach Mel Meninga. He was very concerned about Canberra focusing on this match tonight, knowing that they've got that big one against Brisbane coming up next Monday. I thought they might have had their mind
right across.
7 days down the track. First penalty goes to the home side. It's against Darren Britt, the big fella. Just after a minute of play. And Brad Clyde is taking the line kick. It's not foreign to him. And he almost makes a mistake because he's cut it very fine. Just over the fingertips of Hazem El Masri. Pongia slammed away. In amongst the smoke given off by the fireworks pre-match. Hedrington got a good ball away. Prittis is with it. And Canberra are in the centre of the park with 4 tackles remaining. Oh, Furner will score! Well, he's ripped them open! David Furner! He simply weaved his way through and has put it over the line after 2 minutes.
Well, I think plenty of Mel Meninga's fears about complacency or looking forward too far have been pleased by that run from David Furner. Some shocking defence in the middle of the ruck. Canberra, they love angled running. A miss there, another one from Omono, and 0-2 simple.
Yeah, how easy was that? And Furner has turned into one of Canberra's major attacking weapons over the last couple of seasons. He's got a beautiful right foot step. He used it twice there, but that was some poor defence. Some good strong running from Furner gets them 4.
So David Furner will convert his own try from about 13 metres out. He puts it through the uprights at Canberra's Bruce Stadium, looking more like an Indian reservation. Smoke everywhere.
Yeah, tremendous.
Mel Meninga celebrating a birthday today, I'm led to believe. This is how the try looked.
I think his birthday might be tomorrow, Ravs, but he'll be feeling as though he's celebrating it today. David Furner just slicing straight through, and I can't believe the makeup of this Canberra side. The last person I expected to be playing fullback tonight is Laurie Daly. The beauty of Daly's game is his involvement. Much tougher to do so from the custodian position. It'll be interesting to see if he is there for the duration.
I'm just wondering if he's playing there in the fence. Pete might slip into 5'8" in attack, or who is the 5'8" at the moment? Maybe it's David Boyle.
Well, when they had the football, he was still scouting out wide as a fullback.
Or Croker.
So Canterbury on the end of a 6-point deficit early on, and Daly watches this like a hawk as it goes over that touchline off the boot of Craig Polomata, about 11 metres away from the Canberra line. Well, a great start. This was Polomata kicking off his 30-metre line and finding touch way down the other end of the ground. Furner a try. At the 2nd minute, it is not the way to start a game against a combatant. You've only beaten once in 6 matches at Bruce Stadium. 16 is Boyle, and then it goes away for Wiki. I'm just trying to pick up who it was that gave that final pass to Wiki. It was Croker.
47
And now a penalty for holding down goes to Canberra. This will put them on the attack again.
Yeah, Paul was spot on. It is David Boyle in playing in the 5'8" position. Brad Clyde again kicks for touch. And looking very dangerous. Canberra early in this game got away to a flyer. Now Pongia picks up a good 10 metres.
The Raiders then coming across through the right of the ground. And Furner's got a Canterbury player hanging around the shoulders. He said, Polomata and Prittis having a little dust up. It didn't last for long. 40-metre line, Canterbury's end of the ground as Stewart tries to find Canterbury lacking as he turns an inside ball for Clyde and then across for Daly. Up in the line, punching it down into the corner and finding touch. Beautiful precision. Looking to make it so easy.
Well, if Daly is playing fullback, you won't see him hanging back there too much in attack. He'll be drifting around the rucks, searching for the football. For the more times Daly's got the hands on his football, the better.
This is Halligan bringing the ball away from the left. And now Homono. 6-0, converted try to David Ferner. Here's Darren Britt. Canterbury on the end of 2 penalties that has seen them for the better part of this game down inside their 30-metre line, and this is the second time that Polomata has had to try and clear. As Daly runs away from Travis Norton and Simon Gillies, he goes across for Lightning, and he was really put out of it quickly by El Masri. Now it's Bradley Clyde.
A good tackle there low from Hazem El Masri, but he'll need to be very careful as to the decisions that he makes coming in off his wing. A couple of times this season, he's made the decision to come in, and they've taken advantage of an overlap. El Masri that time was a long way from the far sideline.
So Canberra again using Ferner. Priddis, who played the ball, stayed alive, and it was Ferner who elected to go back to him and not to Hetherington. And then from Stewart onto the terrible pass forward from Croker to Clyde. And referee Bill Harrigan opting to put the scrum together rather than give the penalty for deliberately throwing it forward. An option that must have been in Bill's mind here. For my part of the debate, I don't think they use that alternative enough, referees. But a scrum is packing on the Canterbury 30-metre line. A cold night in Canberra, no wind though, and that makes it a little bit more bearable. With the home side in front by 6, this is Stephen Price, pushed up into the front row for tonight's match. And then it's Polomata's pass to Barry Ward, putting the second rower under extreme pressure. Played by Clyde quickly. Canberra have got a very quick turnaround going here. Ruben Wiki. Oh, gee, Polomata went up top, and he really slammed Wiki. Nothing foul about it. It was a swinging arm across the chest region. And it's not the first one that Craig Polomata's let go tonight. Now, Stewart looking for runners. Ferner seems to be the colour of the night. And then Clyde, good ball away for Kennedy. And Kennedy is put down about 18 metres away from the Canterbury line. Down the blind side, Priddis, he's over! Oh, good work by the young man. Luke Priddis is over. Second try for the Raiders.
Well, if the first one was soft, this is softer. The dummy half scooting out. See the Canterbury defence still going back. What about this attempted tackle up around the head area there by one of the Canterbury players? Absolutely shocking defence. Priddis very quick out of dummy half. It's Matt Ryan. That's just awful. And reaching out in the tackle of Price to get the second.
Yeah, first grade standard should be a lot better than that one, shouldn't it? But he's had a good start to the match, this Priddis. He's found plenty of room around the middle of the rucks there, and he gets low to the ground, he darts, he's got plenty of speed. He's a fine young player. Of course, he's played, Australian Super League test during the season?
Well, I think he played for New South Wales.
New South Wales, was it? Right.
In 2 of the Tri-Series matches, he was there, including the final against Queensland. And he's a product of the Woden Western Rams. So that club here in Canberra will be ecstatic as one of their young Lions gets over the line against Canterbury in a most important game. Leaving the defence aside, it was a determined effort as Ferner lets it go and brings it around too much. So David Ferner misses the attempted conversion. Canberra over Canterbury at the 9th minute, 10 points to 0. We welcome you back. And Travis Norton at the start of Canterbury trying to get off their heels. They've really been on the wrong end of everything. The penalties against them has seen them again down on this end of the park. They have barely seen the other end of the ground.
They might do so following this kick from Pollamouta, although Daly won't have too much trouble picking it up 15 out from his own line. But when you have a look at this Canterbury pack on paper, Ray, like, it's a pretty gritty one, isn't it? There's plenty of aggression there. But so far, that's yet to come to the fore because they haven't been able to put Canberra back on the heels at any stage. Barry Ward is already off. Robert Relf coming in.
You put the hands
Here
on
it is again,
no
Peter.
hands.
Here it is again. This has been exactly what has happened since the start of the game. Canterbury replies on the 4th or 5th tackle, and then they give a penalty on Canberra's 2nd or 3rd tackle, and that, of course, puts Canberra easily back down Canterbury's end of the ground. And from that, 2 tries have come. Priddis taking the tap that some players think is legitimate for a restart of play from the 20.
That's a better shot from Darren Britt.
Putting a bit of fibre into his work there. Stewart going back down the blind side. Wiki tries to find a gap. Oh, he finds it! Strolls into open pasture. Wiki's away, and he's over. Canberra are carving the Bulldogs apart.
Well, you give Darren Britt a rap for one tackle, and the next play, somehow Ruben Wiki has again carved them up the middle. Difficult to see just what unfolded here. You thought, well, hang on, maybe there's a shepherd or something involved. There were a couple of Canberra players in there. And just have a look at Wiki when he gets close to the line. He gets down early. Never gave the defence a chance to hold him up or to come up with a tackle. He got down and made sure that the momentum would take him over. In the end, it wasn't needed.
Oh, this could be anything, this scoreline, but there is a half-pie shepherd here. Stephen Price gets taken out by Hetherington. He blew up Price, but Wiki's done very, very well. And it's 14 blot. Scoring an even time, aren't they?
Yeah, the question asked there by the Canterbury players was, Stephen Price, could he have got to the man scoring the try, Ruben Wiki? And the look on Stephen Price's face, he believed that he could.
Here's David Ferner then converting the try of Ruben Wiki, and the 3rd try is on the board after 13 minutes.
I reckon this one will show it, Pete, this angle. Price could have easily made the tackle right there.
I think that's a shepherd. I think that Price was impeded in. If he'd have dived or got through, he could have at least attempted the tackle. And I think he was stopped from doing so by a Canberra player.
Canterbury then going through the motions one more time. It is not the recipe that Chris Anderson would like. And a penalty goes for raking the ball out against Canberra, so that will help Canterbury to get down the other end of the park with the football in their hands for the first time. Andrew Voss on Laurie Daly.
Yes, on Laurie Daly, I might add too, I'm sitting beside a very solemn-looking Canterbury bench at the moment. There's some worried faces there, but just on Laurie Daly, you can see at fullback too, he's pointing the Canberra defence left and right. He's barking out the instructions, which is something that Noah Nandruku may have had trouble with. It's not communication, and talking on the field is not really part of his game.
Hetherington going to the right of the ground, and Pollamouta unloading for Robert Relf. That tackle was also creeping rather high. Pollamouta for Norton. Norton's pass, it goes to ground. Martin, he didn't get a good ball, and he's put it down. He was under pressure. Canberra are right up on top of Canterbury. Now Hetherington is met around the legs by another Hetherington. And Stewart floating a pass away for Nandruku. Back after that broken leg near the start of the year. He's on the halfway line. Stewart, short ball. Oh, Clyde ran into a ramrod tackle. 2 of them involved. Darren Britt was one of them, and Jason Hetherington the other. This is Brett Hetherington, no relation. As they go through to Stewart and then wide for Croker. He puts the big right hand up in Norton's face, but Norton manages to pull him down. Then for Daly to cross the halfway line, and then Kennedy. Ben Kennedy. Struggling run. Brings a roar from the crowd. Bill Harrigan wants no part of it. He just said, play the ball, get on with it. Nothing in it. Ball, it's off the hand of Halligan. It's all onside. Will he get it back? Yes, he does. It was a good piece of work eventually by Daryl Halligan. This is the fullback Berrigan. Robert Ralph out to his own 20-metre line. Darren Britt hitting the line and then being forced back by Pongia and Kennedy. Joe, that pass must have been forward. Brought a groan from the crowd. The ball comes out the back.
I'll tell you what, Canberra are attacking very well, aren't they? But their defence is even better. They're hitting hard, they're getting numbers in the tackles, and this is why Canterbury keep making mistakes. That was forward, and it's the big defence.
Certainly under great pressure there, Solomon Homono, but it is, if he has a weakness, that is it, with his hands.
And two front rowers leaving for Canberra, and they've had very strong starts, both Hetherington and Pongia. DeVico and Wesley coming into the game now as the Raiders win the scrum. Daly the blind side. Held fairly high again, and I was surprised to see who the man was up around there. He's been in outstanding form over recent weeks, but he's been an angry ant beginning of this game, and he's trod a pretty fine line. This time the referee has decided to pull him up.
Hang on, over there, 2 tackles. Listen to me, 2 tackles. I said you're a little bit high. I'll give you a warning, that's still too high too. It's on report, but okay. Hey, Laurie.
There you can see the signal from Bill Harrigan being placed on report. Craig Polomounta. Let's get him right across the chin.
I don't know what Daly said, and it wasn't on screen, but he walked back and he pointed to Polomounta. It wasn't a look of friendship, I can give you the tip. So Canberra looking for their 4th try as David Wesley is pile-driven into the ground. He's getting through a lot of work in a beaten side. Jason Hetherington. Here's Clyde trying to make a break up the middle, laying the foundation for them to go wide on the right of the ground. Stewart, second man play behind Ferner, picking up Croker, then back for Boyle. Boyle is met there and not held. Pulled down eventually by Gillies. 10 metres away from the Canterbury line. Stewart works the play on the right. Kennedy did well. The ball was behind him. He had to reach back and pull it in. Oh, what an awful pass. Nandruku will take it to ground. That is the turnover. Well, Laurie Daly must look at Luke Privis, I think it was, and ask the question, what was that?
I don't even think the ball was supposed to go this way. Laurie must have put in a late call. They had plenty of numbers in out to the left.
Here's Berrigan trying to clear the danger zone for Canterbury. Darren Britt joining in on a wideish blindside. And now Daryl Halligan is underneath the tackle of Nandruku over the top of Croker. 23 is Ralph, and now Polomounta plays in the 1 shirt. And his kick will bounce down to the 10-metre line for Daly. Lightning goes back to help the captain, the 5/8. Got to be careful, haven't you? Now Bradley Clyde. Gillies underneath there. Working hard, Gillies, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to stem the flow. Second tackle for Canberra on this set as they bring it away through Davico. 35 out from his line for Stewart, who then decides to kick. And he's got Nandruku powering down the right of the ground. Berrigan is going back quickly. Nandruku will try and peg him, but he's out of the in-goal area. Able to fend his way past a couple to the 10-metre line.
Very cool play there from Barry Berrigan. Saw the chasers coming through, led by Nandruku. He's normally a halfback. The uncustomary role of fullback. He made 15 metres. Nicely there. Barry Ward, who's back on, breaks a couple of tackles, offloads.
This is Martin. Back for Polomounta. And then it is Simon Gillies. Ferner making the tackle. He scored the first try at the 2nd minute. Ruben Wiki picking up a try, and the other one was scored by Luke Prentice. And all those tries happened inside the first 14 minutes as Daly, playing at fullback, is kept busy. Comes back and uses Lightning on the right of the ground. Well, I can't believe that Daly would do that.
Well, I'm not going to blame Laurie Daly here, Ray. I'm going to blame Royston Lightning. Okay, he didn't have much room, but gee, he had plenty of opportunity to come back in field. Could have come in there. Never going to beat El Masri on the outside. Maybe they're both at fault, but I still think Lightning had an opportunity to get the ground by heading infield a touch.
Well, I would think that Mal Meninga, the first thing he'd be thinking was, let's not go to sleep on what we've done. Great start. Let's not get too lackadaisical. Norton sweeping it across for Ryan. Prolific try scorer. 25 out. Halligan scooping it up for Price. And Price will be ridden into the ground by Croker. Canterbury getting dangerously close now. They need a try, and they need it soon. It's Gillies with the ball now. Play back and put away by Hetherington for Polomata to go to Norton. Norton around the back, picking up Homono. And Solomon is put down with the line, as you can see, about 7 metres in front of him. Oh, knock on a dummy half, but it's a penalty for incorrect play the ball.
Yeah, this is a shocking play of all this one, but I've got to say this, there's been about 15 play the balls in this game so far he could have penalised players for. Players not rolling the ball back with their foot, but that's a dead set shocker, that one.
The foot coming out 3 seconds after the ball had left. 5-1 the penalties. It's a lot early in the game, especially one way.
Luke Prentice on the first of a new set of tackles. It's David Wesley. Mitch Newton has gone on for Canterbury. Darren Britt is off as DeVico takes the next play just into Canterbury's area. Then Stewart letting Ferner go, picking up Croker. And Croker will play it 10 metres into Canterbury's area. They keep working away on the blind side. And Stewart rolls it in behind Berrigan. He did well to get back into the field of play just earlier on. He's not under the same pressure this time. El Masri. Well, Canberra's Noah Nandruku missiled in.
It's another tactical move here from Canberra. They've moved the wingers from opposite sides to where they started. Nandruku now on the left wing, as you saw there. Royston Lightning has come across this side. Jason Hetherington is having all sorts of trouble around the dummy half area. This time it goes his way.
Dave, no, you played for that. You got the penalty, but let's pick it up clean and get on with it, okay?
Replacement for the Bulldogs.
And there's Jason Hetherington having his own brand of trouble, but the penalty, the breach had already been committed.
Pretty smart refereeing there by Bill Harrigan. There's no doubt that Jason Hetherington milked that for all it was worth. Harrigan told him that, look, I know that you've got the penalty anyway. Next time, it won't happen.
This is Stephen Price. Centre of the ground, just outside the Canberra 30-metre line. As Norton shows it and then goes out for Ryan into a giant gap, turns it inside. That's been touched by Canberra, and it should be 6 more. It is for the Canterbury Bulldogs. Ryan pushes it along. Norton to Polomata. Polomata, the little bloke. He's a metre from the line. Hetherington. Then for Newton. He's lost the ball. So they haven't been able to sustain the pressure again.
Ah, tragedy for Canterbury. Every time they get down here, they make a mistake. You put it down to Canberra's bustling defence, but Polomata, isn't he having a dig tonight? He's having an absolute blinder. He's in everything. Mistake.
And Canterbury going so close. Daryl Halligan reaching out, desperately trying to get it over the line. You saw the result. He's into touch. And when we come back, a scrum will restart at 16-0 Canberra. And back at Bruce Stadium. As we left you, it was a quick turnaround where Lightning had the ball, he was hit hard, and Canterbury was given this chance, and Daryl Halligan taken out by David Furner. Mark that down as a try saver for Furner.
I wonder whether the rugby union days of Daryl Halligan came out there. He put the ball back in field. It did go backwards. I wonder whether it was another try saver on the Canterbury player coming through, scooping it up. Also, a couple of plays before, David Boyle did a great job to knock down a pass that would have led to a try.
This is Brett Hetherington now. Canberra prop forward. Clyde. Stewart. Pongia. Did well there, Pongia. He had two of them trying to put him away. Prentice is down to the halfway line. Pongia is there, a dummy half miraculously. Then Stewart fires it out for David Boyle, and Ryan and Halligan put him away. 42 metres out from the line. From Croker for Stewart. Came off the feet of Canterbury, back to Canterbury. And it is with Robert Relf. 5 metres on his own side of the halfway. Oh, dear.
Please.
Well, he's penalised this time, has he?
Penalty.
Yeah.
Deliberate forward pass to him.
Barry Berrigan came from 100 yards back, and they still can't get it right.
And not just because of that kick from Ricky Stewart. I've watched him in a couple of weeks. I reckon he's playing at about 60% fitness. It just shows his value to the team of being out there controlling things, his kicking game. We know that he's had groin problems, knee problems, and he's obviously only going to get better with more match practice and more match fitness. But I don't think you'll see him run much in the game tonight. Quite happy just to offload and direct.
So Wesley. Stampeding run up the middle. They keep working on the left, then they come back down the right, then the middle. Oh, and another penalty. Has to be given, surely.
It's a game of gridiron. They got the quarterback just finding.
Have that one, Simon.
Well, it makes Jason Hetherington feel a touch better. Big Prentice there. Switch of play, dummy on the outside. He was the wide receiver.
Newton. 40-metre line, his own end of the ground. Now for Price, and Bill Harrigan's found some blood, so he'll use the...
That's a high tackle, Ravi.
Oh, is it? I thought he was looking for the blood, Ben, but he's given the penalty.
He claimed both players are up too high on Stephen Price.
Prentice was the first, Hetherington the second.
So can Canterbury do something this time? They've been down there a couple of times, mounted pressure, and then let it break down. Play by Newton. Hetherington brings it back for Polomouta. Run and then give for Ralph, and Berrigan will score! Barry Berrigan goes around behind the uprights, and Canterbury, they have been threatening to do it, have finally put it over the line.
And been threatening to do it down this side. It was a beautiful ball from Robert Relf. They come to the left-hand side. They throw the cut-out pass. We freeze it there. You can see that Ricky Stewart is going to be drawn by Relf. That opens the hole up. Royston Lightning, the winger. He's faced by two players. He stays with his man. Diving tackle on the inside to Noah Vale, and Berrigan, who's got very good footwork, made it look pretty easy to beat the fullback.
Yeah, simple blindside play. Good ball from Ralph, and Berrigan's done some good things at both ends of the paddock now. And a nice step to finish it off.
So Barry Berrigan it is who finally gets it over the line for the Canterbury Bulldogs. Daryl Halligan with a simple conversion attempt from right in front. And so Canterbury on the board, 10 minutes away from half-time. They're trailing Canberra by 10 points.
16-6.
Stay behind. Whoa. Come Nice ball. Sorry, they went up to it. Okay.
Okay, we bring you back to Bruce Stadium for this 14th round Super League clash. Canberra in front by 16-6 at the moment. That is Quentin Pongia with a spirited run back, taking him out to the Canberra 30-metre line, then away for Furner. And Furner is tackled 5 metres further down the ground. Priddis then looking for runners and finding Wesley. Wesley able to shovel it away. Hetherington was looking for somebody to run, but eventually taken down just a few metres from the halfway line, as you saw. And then Stewart puts it across the ground. He'll find the touchline down on the Canterbury 10-metre line. Beautiful kicking game, hasn't he? Well documented, none better. And that kick from 45 out from his own line, finding it 10 out from the opposition line.
And with the zero tackle in the game these days, you're probably better off kicking forward touch on many occasions. Gives you an opportunity to come down and get your defence set. Or trying to defend in broken play, which can be difficult at times if the chase isn't a particularly good one. Now they'll come up with a simple tackle on Daryl Halligan. 20 out from the Canterbury line.
At 16-6, this is Gillies. Got 7.5 minutes of the first half remaining. And Furner picking Newton up and really driving in with the shoulder. Sees Newton go back down on his haunches. And Canberra coming up with the ball. Zero tackle on the 40-metre line. So an opportunity here for Canberra just in front of half-time. Hetherington takes the first. And the second has been left to Pongia. Ball in one arm, looking to unload all the time. Stewart, runners on offer. Picks up Clyde. Clyde takes it 15 out from the line. They're right in the centre. And then it's with Pongia again. Lets a runner go. Picks up Jason Croker. And he plays it down close to the Canterbury line. Priddis shaped to kick and then decided to try and beat them. On the last tackle we are. Stewart goes to the air. Nandruku's after it. They're all after it. The bounce is backwards. And Canberra have got the ball, but they've gone into touch. But it was propelled forward off Laurie Daly, and that is the ruling.
Yeah, turnover there. Good tactic on the end of it all. But they made some good ground back in the middle of the ruck then, Canberra. For the last 15 minutes, they've been trying to run around the Canterbury side. The 3 tries they scored earlier came right through the middle of the ruck. And it's good to see them get back to those tactics that were working for them.
Martin. Coming in from the centres. Taking a bit of work away from the forwards. And they have been required to do a lot more defensive work than their counterparts. Polamalu's kick has got lightning back in the in goal. Where's the defence? Here they come. Will he make it? Yes, he runs away from one of them. And then is pulled down by Travis Norton. Daly wants to quick play the ball to feed on the left of the ground. And Ruben Wiki tries to burrow through. 12 metres out from their own line. Clyde is there, as he always is. The feature of Bradley Clyde's performance in rugby league is undoubtedly his athleticism and his ability to be there on offer whenever he's needed.
And to absorb punishment. He copped plenty there. He was absolutely filthy with the tackle. Gave the referee a mouthful as the inside ball finds Wesley. Beats a couple. Great ball to Priddis, backing up as always. Just falling off the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Oh, great pass by Priddis, finds Furner. Canberra 25 metres away from the line. And it is Kennedy. 5 tackles gone. Stewart wants it on the left of the ground. Clyde goes himself from dummy half. Oh, Halligan. A diving catch away to his right.
Well, it was one too late because they had an overlap, 2-man overlap to play before. And if Furner could have got a pass away, or if he'd have been cut out, they score again. And up the middle of the ruck set things up. David Furner, ball back inside to Wesley, shrugs one off, then another one. Beautiful pass to Priddis. He's out of the tackle from Newton. And what about that for a pass to Furner, who started things 60 metres previous.
Good personal performance there by Daryl Halligan too. I didn't realise that he'd made the tackle on Furner and then was back there to take that catch off the kick from Bradley Clyde. Now Daly reckons he can run away from Gillies. He proves that. Nandruku uses Daly. Daly's over there pretty much on his own as Norton puts him away just inside the 20-metre line. Nandruku and Lightning switching wings about 10-15 minutes back. This is Ruben Wiki taking a dummy half run to the 30-metre line.
Jason, you put your hand on the ball.
And it's a penalty going to Canberra.
Yeah, he's got Hetherington there for putting his hand on the football, holding up to play the ball. But once again, you can see it's the Canterbury middle of the ruck it's very soft, and they're dropping off tackles. So far, 21 missed tackles for Canterbury.
DeVico. Stewart. Wesley. 3 tries to 1. Canberra really came out tonight running. Canterbury were really given a bath in the early part. Strangely enough, when they have been down the other end of the ground, they too could have scored a few tries. They've only put 1 over. There is some hope there for Canterbury as Wiki puts a grubbing kick into the 10-metre zone. Gillies was there to fall on it. In fact, it was Price. Now El Masri, hit by the defence and hit hard by Kennedy and DeVico. Barry Ward running into Bradley Clyde. Back on his own 20-metre line as we approach half-time in about 1 3/4. Newton, who's had limited time in the first half. Hetherington, Polomouta, an aggressive first half. And maybe that's what was lacking in the earlier part of the game, some controlled aggression. Polomouta was delivering plenty of it, but I don't know that the team was as fired up as they might have been.
Nandruku basically allows that one to find touch. As Ray pointed out, the wingers have swapped over. Jason Croker's been at 5'8" for most of this first half. He's doing a good job. Daly getting involved. They're such a versatile team, aren't they? They've got so many players who can slot into places. Brett Hetherington's in the front row these days. We're coping with the workload up front without too many problems. Just a class team all around. And 10-point lead here. I'll probably be disappointed with that. Feel as though maybe they should lead by a few more after the way this first half has gone.
I'm just wondering, Pete, do you reckon Mal will persevere with Daly at fullback? I just think he needs to be 5'8" to control his outside backs a little bit more and run to the line a bit more.
He's the best 5'8" in the game. I don't think he'll be there too long at all as Boyle takes the tackle of Halligan. It's worked tonight, but I don't think he'll be in the fullback position for long.
Croker feigning to give it to Furner before taking the tackle. Furner a dummy half. And then Daly up in the line, punching it in around behind Berrigan. Berrigan will be forced to bring it back from the end goal. Beats Nandruku on the outside. Held down by Kennedy and Wiki. El Masri passing across to the other winger, Halligan. Met by DeVico and put down on the Canterbury 10-metre line. Half-time siren sounding. Bill Harrigan acknowledges that. And so there it is, the half-time siren. And the Canberra will take this 10-point lead to the break. 3 tries. The first came at the 2nd minute. And then Canterbury were the last to respond. Canberra Raiders 16, Canterbury Bulldogs 6 at half-time.
Hello, I'm Gilly Devery, updating Fox Sports News. Former Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Shell Australia, Rick Charlton, has been named the new Chairman of the National Basketball League. He takes the place of Malcolm Speed, who last month took up the role of Chief Executive at the Australian Cricket Board. Mike Tyson has been dropped from the World Boxing Association rankings because of the investigation into last month's heavyweight title fight, in which he bit the ears of defending champion Evander Holyfield. And Australia scored its second victory in the World Under-20s Women's Basketball Championship with a 12-point win over Spain. Join us for full details of all today's sport in Fox Sports News tonight, 6:30 Eastern.
This Friday on Fox Sports 2, the Super League Live. Auckland, Adelaide. The Warriors are on the attack against the Rams at Adelaide Oval. Can they lift their game? The Super League, Auckland, Adelaide. 8:30 Friday night, live on Fox Sports 2.
Tuesday at 5:30, catch the heroes and villains in the colourful up and down world of wrestling. Then after Fox Sports News, the toughest cycling event in the world is underway from France, followed by more extreme sport on the primetime rush.
Simon Gillies taking this Canterbury side back out. 16-6 down, but they said it during the commentary in the first half, there would be some hope. When you think about it, they went down there 3 times to the Canberra line and they bombed 2 opportunities. They were successful the 3rd time. Had they have converted some of those chances, this scoreline would not be quite as wide. Canberra started the match, as you would have seen, absolutely brilliantly. And they had 3 tries on the board after 14 minutes.
And that was aided there by the amount of missed tackles in the first half from Canterbury. 23 in total. If you miss that many against the Raiders, they'll run up a cricket score against you. So 16 conceded, not too bad after 40 minutes. Plenty of line breaks for the home team and all the statistics favouring Canberra. And obviously the Bulldogs, first thing they have to do is shore up their defence up the middle and get their scrambling defence to be a little bit more effective as well.
Bill Harrigan is looking for the 2 captains. And the second half underway with Canterbury playing catch-ups, trailing by 10. Canberra on the second tackle with Brad Clyde about 33 metres out from his own line. He had a very strong first half, Brad Clyde, as did this man playing the ball, Pongier. And now Stewart on one of the earlier tackles, placing it down to Barry Berrigan back on his own 10-metre line, and he is rounded up by a good chase by Ruben Wiki. Halligan has to come across from his wing to take this play out. Ferner comes out of the line, puts him away. Hetherington to dummy half, and Pollamount passes, sweeps it across in front of Simon Gillies. And that is Matt Ryan playing the ball on the far side of the ground, and the penalty goes to Canterbury.
A silly play there from Royston Lightning. The tackle had been completed. He grabbed a hold of the jersey and pulled him back down. There it is there.
(7-5) the penalties now favouring Canberra. 7-4 at the break. I wonder if there's some omen in the fact that Canterbury got the first penalty in the second half, because Canberra were very strongly aided by a glut of penalties and thus possession at the start of the game. Down to the 20-metre line, a good strong run by Barry Ward away from Robert Relf, who has started the second half. Pollamount for Norton, and Norton shows it for Newton before giving it to Gillies. Ridden into the ground by Kennedy over the top, and Hetherington underneath, and then to the right for Pollamount to drift across the ground and put a kick in, but it's too deep. 16-6. Second minute of the game in the second half. And
yeah, only on the 4th tackle this one. Trying something early to upset the Canberra defence. They're actually still making a lot of ground down Canberra's right-hand side. We're attacking down there. Canterbury having a bit of luck.
So it's Canberra to bring it away from inside their red zone. Let's go to Andrew Voss and see what he was able to learn at halftime.
or actually both coaches believe their sides had failed to play to their potential in the first half. Mal Meninga felt his plays let Canterbury off the hook after about 20 minutes. Let's start afresh this half, and it's our defence and not attack that will win us the game. And from Chris Anderson, we're not out of it. Marker defence needs to improve. And just on Solomon Himono, he's still in the dressing room after half-time. He's suffering from a bad dose of the flu, and he could be used sparingly in this half.
All right, Andrew, thank you for that. It doesn't surprise me that Mal Meninga would say that. Here's Newton. Up to the 10-metre line, stands and gets it back for a trailing Robert Relf. And then from Hetherington to Polomanta. Across and on, knocked on by Simon Gillies. Well, how many times are Canterbury going to fritter away try-scoring opportunities?
I think they'd have nearly scored too, you know. Once again, Canberra light on down there. And Canterbury had plenty of numbers.
The thing about it, Paul, if they don't score in that set of 6, roll it into the in-goal area, they get another 6 from the line, drop out, and all of a sudden that pressure continues to build. I don't think they've been able to string together 2 sets of 6 in a row tonight.
15 out from their own line now, and Brad Clyde is put down on his own 20-metre line. And Daly arrived a little bit early there, and Luke Prentice was forced to take it out himself. In fact, Daly was probably only running a decoy anyway. Now Kennedy on the left on a fairly narrow blind side, but Canberra keep pumping away at it. It's down the wing that's occupied by Hazem El Masri. Ball didn't hit the ground if you were inquiring about a drop ball there. Then Stewart neatly dances around Price before putting his kick down the ground. Berrigan's back on his own line, and the chase was led by Croker. Berrigan's made a long run back to the 30-metre line before he runs into Quentin Pongia.
He's been a real success tonight, Barry Berrigan. He scored the try, but he's made some good runs, a few dangerous situations for his team. Polomanta skips back inside to take it over the 40. He's looked pretty at home tonight, Berrigan, in the fullback role.
I don't know what happened to him just then. He took the tackle and he was shaking the melon. Seems to be okay now as I look at him through the glasses. Polomanta then back for Travis Norton, who gets a kick in that turns Nandruku around, but the fullback Daly is the man that brings it away to run into the waiting hands of Martin and El Masri before Nandruku comes away from dummy half to the red zone line on the 20-metre line for Super League rules. And now it is Ruben Wiki. No Brett Mullins tonight, apparently. He spent some days in hospital leading up to the game. In fact, quite a few notables missing out of the game as Clyde reaches the 40. John Timu, he's not playing through injury. But he and his wife Kaz celebrated the birth of their yet-to-be-named son yesterday. So, John, from all the Canterbury people and all the people in Rugby League, good luck to you and your wife. And I must emphasise that isn't the reason he's not playing tonight. He has a genuine injury. Although the birth of a new child, John, you might have an injured pocket from here on in. El Masri on his own 10-metre line. This is Robert Relf. 18 out, trailing by 10. Canterbury's been down Canberra's end once already in the second half. Mitch Newton, the man with the ball, made that possible, really. But they bombed it again, so let's put it down. There's a stolen ball with 2 players in the tackle. So Harrigan gives the penalty. I was about to make the point. My reckoning shows Canterbury has been down there 4 times. They've come back with a try once, and 3 times they've absolutely bombed it.
Well, the referee on that occasion claiming there were 2 in the tackle. I really think the ball had been stolen before the man on the other side of the ruck came in to get involved in the tackle. Pretty tough call there, and they were lucky to find touch in the end there, the Canterbury side. It was touched. It bounced in the field of play, and the Canberra player had to play at the ball.
The scrum then is forming on the 40-metre line. This is the kick.
And the touch I was claiming there, obviously, at Royston Lightning's foot touched the football before it went over. Gillies spins out of one. Finally taken by Ricky Hetherington over the top.
Hetherington playing in the headgear tonight. Back from an interruption to his season. Very good player. As Polomouta drifts across and Barry Ward is met there by Ferner and Pongia. The attack was equalled by the defence. Leaping into the air, Polomouta puts the ball very, very high, and then Laurie Daly is underneath it. Back to the 20-metre line.
Yeah, great take by Daly. I thought the Canterbury players were offside anyway. I'll call that way by Harrigan.
And no surprise to see Canterbury put their kicking game across to the inexperienced Royston Lightning. Only a handful of first-grade games. Daly came into assist, and Pongia, some contact there with Mitch Newton.
Harrigan's 10 metres has gone down the tube, I'm telling you. It's been about 7 for the last few tackles.
This is Kennedy. As Stewart goes wide through Ferner and then Croker, Gillies came up, put a bit of a punctuation mark on the Canberra attack. Stewart fires a kick off and finding the line. Deep into Canterbury's area.
And that was touched, I think.
By Price, was it?
In flight. I think the referee has ruled that way, so it wouldn't be at all surprising to see Canberra come up with the feed here. The ball finding touch there. He has played at it, so it will be a Canberra feed.
Yeah, mate. Show road, go good. Quentin, you watch that? No, wait. In.
Good chance then for Canberra. Backline deep. Daly anxious to get involved. 30-metre line. Daly at acting half now. He wasn't required in that, or wasn't given the opportunity to combine in that backline raid. Now Kennedy works with Pritters, turns it in. Ferner. That's how they scored their first try, really. Hetherington. 20-metre line. 16-6. The home team in front. Stewart, long ball. They've broken the line. Ryan, pushed away by Croker. Croker then tries to menace them through the centre. 20-metre line. Pritters again. And away from Stewart. Ferner comes angling back again, as he does so often tonight. Pritters to the right, answering the call from Stewart. Puts the grubbing kick in. A race. Oh! Lightning is over! Well, the obvious saying, like Grease Lightning, Royston has put it down, but Bill Harrigan wants to have another look at it.
Well, interesting to see here whether the call is because he didn't ground the ball or whether he was onside when the kick was put through by Ricky Stewart.
Well, they look pretty confident, don't they, Canberra? From the angle we saw, it looked like a try. Chris Anderson looks on.
Well, the call we've got is that it's about being onside on the chase. There's Stewart kicking the football.
Well, he's onside.
Now,
you reckon?
oh, gee, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there's no drama there. I guess I'll pick it up perfectly as to whether he gets downward motion on the ball. That's fine. The offside could be the only reason this wouldn't be. Okay, Stewart's dropped it on the foot now, and it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I reckon he's on.
The widest man out there. Well, the touch judge has got a perfect view of it, really. I think it'll be okay.
Well, by the sound of the crowd, we can't actually see the screen from our commentary position. I was listening to a large roar from the crowd. The decision hasn't been made.
Well, former referee Chris Ward is the man in the hot seat tonight.
Do you think Royston was onside? Watch the screen.
And it's a try. So Royston Lightning extends the Canberra lead to 20 points to 6. This is how the try came. I think he's given the benefit of the doubt, if there was a doubt, to the attacking side. And I think when it is a situation like that, that is fair enough.
He's got surprising pace, hasn't he, Royston Lightning? He's no out-and-out speedster, and the build of him would suggest that one day he'll end up in the forwards, but at the moment he's sprinting well. He's also up against a guy who is not a noted speedster as well, Daryl Halligan, and of course Halligan has to turn and chase there. In fact, Lightning got there fairly comfortably in the end. He had a metre or two to spare from his wingman. It was the fullback coming across that was the problem.
David Furner then has got this attempt from way out on the sideline. Oh, he struck it delightfully. What a lovely kick. 22-6 at the 51st minute. Lovely conversion by David Furner. Canberra restarting after the passage of play that saw Royston Lightning score and David Furner converting. And Canterbury, they look up now and find that the job at hand is even more difficult than it was when they ran out 12.5 minutes ago for the start of the second half. Barry Ward with another strong run, 35 metres away from his own line for Hetherington then to go up the centre with Newton. Critis underneath, and over the top comes Wesley.
Jason Burnham in jersey 20 on for the Raiders. Polamatta on the short side. Finds Laurie Daly on the full. Takes it 20 out from his own line and heads centre field and backwards. Loses a couple of metres, but gives his side a few more options in attack in the next 5.
Andrew Voss, an injury for Jason Croker?
Yeah, Jason Croker won't be returning. Another one that's suffering from bronchitis, so Mal Meninga's taken the chance to rest him for the rest of the game. And just on Royston Lightning, he is actually a speedster. As a schoolboy, he held a number of titles over the 100 metres. He really can motor.
Well, here's another play the ball infringement. Paul pointed out earlier that plenty of occasions the penalty could have been awarded, this time against the Canberra player. So if the Canterbury team are to get back into this game, they really need to put some points on now. Clock against them, but a good chance here.
So it is Newton who's put away, 8 metres away from the Canberra line. Nothing less than a try. Or if there is something less than a try, roll it in and get a line drop out on the end of it. Norton lets 2 players run decoy before finding Ryan, and around the legs out there was Boyle. Now Gillies. They haven't really threatened the line yet. Now they come wider with Polamatta getting involved, and a strong tackle on Hetherington. Wiki it was who came up out of the line away from Ralph for Polamatta. He puts the bomb in. Berrigan's after it, but I don't know that he's onside. Daly can't take it.
No, I want to have a look.
And Bill Harrigan wants to have a look at it.
Look at this one.
Well, Polamatta has put the kick up. It looked as though Canberra players collided when they went for it. Canterbury may be offside here.
Yeah, well, I thought when it all started to unfold that Berrigan was in front of the kicker. I'll be interested to see that, because if he is in front of the kicker, he certainly goes inside the 10.
I'm just wondering if it's a try, because I think Canterbury are quite confident it is. Daryl Halligan's already lining up the kick.
Now here's Polamatta. And, well, if Lightning wasn't offside, then Berrigan wasn't either. Now let's watch it from here. Daly unable to do anything about it. And was there downward pressure there from Simon Gillies? So far it's play on. He doesn't get a shot on it there, and he does there, and it's Stephen Price. But apparently all Harrigan is looking for is offside play. Berrigan's the man in the centre of the ground.
I think he's offside.
No, he's got him too. He's offside.
So Berrigan was offside. And that will give the penalty to Canberra. 5 metres out from where the ball crossed the line. Davico. Well, having thought that Berrigan was offside, on replay, I must say to you that I thought if Royston Lightning was okay, then Barry Berrigan was okay.
Yeah, I actually thought Lightning was offside in the last try.
Now from Davico, across for Stewart, and then angling Wesley back towards the blind side. The ball goes loose, and Davico has to clean up something that he started. Stewart calling play to the left, but here's Ferner making another break. Ferner's down to the 20-metre line. Pritis, Burnham calling it on the left, but they go down the blind. Davico inside the 10. Trouble again for Canterbury as they trail 22-6. The last tackle, Burnham over to Stewart to put it through the hands, and Clyde standing back for Daly. Daly then given an angle by Wiki. Wiki, he will stand and look to unload, but he's put down. I thought that was the final tackle, but obviously it wasn't. And now it's Wesley who comes galloping back 15 metres out from the line. 6 to go, was it? Thank you. It was a nullification of the tackle count. Now it's Stewart. Now the 5th tackle has been signified. That went backwards off the hand of Burnham. Ferner was able to get around one player and put a kick into a very big in goal, but it's far too big. So wholesale changes about to be put into motion by Mal Meninga. And the 20-metre tap to restart with Mears in 21. Out there now, taking the kick. Darren Britt getting it a further 10 metres down the ground. From Price away through Ralph and Ryan. Good hands by Canterbury. Halligan with a long run down the left flank. Pulled down 30 metres away from the Canberra line by Daly. Then Ryan. Away for Ralph to go over to Polomouta, across to Norton, pushing it on for Berrigan. Berrigan is tackled, and for all of that, they only made a couple of metres. And they're back for Martine. Polomouta. Decoy by Hetherington. The ball is lost, and Canberra will come up with this ball after the scrum, that is. The advantage was there for them. They couldn't capitalise, but they will get it now.
Well, Andrew Voss told us at half-time that Mal Meninga looking for some more big defence, and he's got that. Brett Mullins looks on. He's had a sore throat for a few days. Couldn't play tonight, but Meninga must be happy with his side's defence.
Boyle and Lightning putting something together over there. Norton had one go at Lightning and missed him, had to have another go. Now Hetherington. And 2 of the Bulldogs combining to put him away, Price and Gillies. As Pongia gets it out to the 40-metre line, Wolford is on, Pritis is off. You might have just seen Mal Meninga give Luke Pritis a little tap on the back. Tap of encouragement. Well done.
Very well done tonight. I think Luke Pritis is just about the best player in the field tonight. As Clyde takes it up the centre, last tackle signal. Pritis and Ferner really have caused a lot of problems for the Canterbury defence. Stewart finds Daly to kick on the last, the option kicker towards El Mashri.
And Hazem, from a standing start, has glided between them, puts a long run together, and Simon Wolford. A tremendous piece of cover defence from him. Now it's gone across for Hetherington to make a mistake. Oh dear, oh dear. Poor old Canterbury, they can't mount anything tonight.
It's just not their night, is it, Canterbury? Jason Hetherington out there. A bit tired to catch that one, but the one aspect that wouldn't please Mal Meninga is their kick-chase defence. This is the 2nd or 3rd time now that Canterbury have made too many easy metres. And look at Wolford come. He's come from the clouds. Ah, great tackle.
Oh, you've got to say, mate, it was a great
Oh, I just can't help myself, Revs.
He's had a tough night, Jason Hetherington, hasn't he? He's one of the nicest blokes you'd ever meet. But tonight, what could go wrong has.
Just on Simon Wolford, who came from the clouds to make that tackle. And spare a thought for him. I mean, he was here as the heir apparent to Steve Walters. He gets rid of Steve, if you like. And suddenly this other kid, Luke Prittis, has come out of nowhere and grabbed the job. Wolford now distributing to Stewart. He puts a chip in. I'm just wondering if there'll be a penalty where the ball lands. No. Berrigan comes back 15 away from his own line.
Well, the Canterbury players don't have to move, and they didn't make any motion to do that. That's Pickering, I think, getting tackled now.
He was offside anyway, Pete, and Drugan.
Canterbury going across to Polomouta. Now, this was the incident the boys are referring to. Yeah, well, Fatty's called Mandruku offside, but I hope he never takes up selling real estate. Andrew Voss on the sidelines.
I was just watching Noah Andruku. That was one of the better dives I think I've seen. Just an update too on Solomon Hamono. He definitely won't be back. And Canterbury, in part of their preparation for this game, they wanted to acclimatise and simulate match conditions of the cold of Canberra. So they trained in their singlets for the week, getting up early, training early, trying to simulate match conditions. It doesn't seem to have worked. A number of players have colds.
Polomouta. And some pressure here for Nandruku. And a contest between him and El Masri. Daly is trying to force it. And Bill Harrigan calling it way back down the ground to give a penalty to Canterbury.
Well, James Pickering, he's putting the singlet on again. Brad Clyde leaves the field.
So we get the kick there. And he's taken it way back down the ground. I was fully expecting that it was some foul on the kicker, but that would have meant the penalty would have been given where the ball landed. So let's go back to it at the 20-metre mark. Canterbury trying desperately to get across that line again. Polomouta turning it away for Robert Relf. 15 out from the line. Over on the left of the ground. This is Travis Norton probing. Can they hold the ball? It would seem that if they can penetrate. Now, Polomouta's kick going across for El Masri, and this is a great contest out here now. They really have set about having their own personal duel, and a rather stupid penalty given by Nandruku. Canterbury taking the quick tap, and of course they've got 6 more tackles at their disposal. Price. 10 metres out from the line, away from Mears. Norton giving it on for Martin. Put down by Boyle out there in 16, together with Burnham. Halligan is the dummy half. To the first receiver, and away from him to Polomouta to hand off to Relf. And Relf is put down 10 metres out from the Canberra line. 22-6. Canterbury desperate for a try. The pass looks suspect. Halligan's over, but I reckon Bill Harrigan has read it. He has. It's a forward pass. No try.
Pass run there by Travis Norton. He's been a bit disappointing tonight. He's forced his way back into the top grade. Hasn't featured a great deal. That one a mile forward to Halligan. Really having trouble extending this sliding defence of the Raiders.
I tell you who's played well tonight is David Boyle. He's done a lot of great work for them, especially in defence out there. He's taken the ball up when he's had to, but his defence has been very, very strong.
Yeah, Prittis and Fern have been the best in the forwards. Boyle's had an outstanding game in the backs.
So penalty now, going to Canberra.
Ball was knocked out, and you could hear the touch judge call that one. Ball knocked out by Pickering.
We come back here again next Monday for what will be, I hope this time round, a really good game of football. I mean, the Raiders and the Broncos conjures up some really heavy breathing when it comes to rugby league enthusiasm. But it didn't reach any great heights in the first round. Let's hope it does it next Monday night. You'll see that at 9:30. The Raiders and the Broncos here from Bruce Stadium. As Hetherington launches himself inside the 20-metre line. Wolford looking for Stewart, who's on his right. Then across for Burnham. And Daly puts it down, goes back and recovers, and Bill Harrigan says, play on. Burnham then thinks about the blind side, brings it back down the centre with Wesley. 25 away from the Canterbury line. Then for Stewart, and Stewart decides to go to the air. Something that Canberra hasn't done, and they probably haven't had any need to, but they haven't done it like we would expect normally. Well, Nandruku went dancing through the air, and his right foot came out, trying to get a kick on it.
I'm glad it didn't. I was Nandruku Nureyev.
This was Noah doing the dance. Watch this, the high kick there. And that's probably a 9.5 for the high kick. But fortunately for, I think it was Stephen Price, he didn't wear it.
Fortunately for Nandruku, he didn't connect either, because there's been some stern action coming his way.
Played here by Gillies on the halfway line. Here's Price again. And ridden into the ground about 38 metres away from the Canberra line. Canterbury with 4 tries to 1 against them. As Ryan turns it back on the inside. They're just beyond the 20 as it's played by Gillies. Polomauta, Norton, he elects to kick. And that ball coming down in front of the uprights with Daly underneath it. And a beautiful take by Daly.
We've got to say the experiment has worked. I'm not sure if Laurie has played fullback before in his first grade career. Maybe he's still in there, but he's been sensational tonight at the back. And look at him screaming at his players, work harder.
That's just a magnificent catch because he'd misjudged it.
Well, he had an Aussie Rules background, didn't he? At the June E Diesels or something. You know about that, Rab, didn't you?
Never on side, Rick.
Penalty goes to Canterbury.
I was still coming back, mate.
As Barry Berrigan comes up to take a quick tap. And they go across, finding Hetherington out very wide, but he's only a couple of metres from the line. About 13 minutes of time on the clock as it comes away from Norton for Polomauta. And now they're back 11 metres from the line. Mears away from dummy half, stepping and trying to get down underneath Wolford. Ralph. This is Berrigan, whose pass goes to ground. I thought it might have been touched by Canberra. It wasn't. Ryan. He's put down. They're losing ground with the football. Price running it down the blindside corridor. He's to the 10-metre line. Polomauta cutting out Berrigan, finding Norton. Norton puts the kick in, runs into the shoulder of DeVico. Daly comes away with the football. And Daly eventually made to play the ball 7 metres out from his own line. Nandruku there has scored many a try. Coming off his own line. 22-6. 11.5 minutes of the game remaining now. Pongia. Wolford. DeVico. Grassing tackle by Mears. Wolford to the right. And again Mears makes the tackle. The arm didn't touch the ground. That is DeVico again. Sliding it out the back for Bradley Clyde to take it inside the 30-metre line. He puts in a little grubbing crick, and it's a race between Wiki and El Masri. And it goes over the sideline. We will come back to a scrum, restarting in just a moment. 22-6 Canberra. Welcome back to Bruce Stadium. Monday night Super League. Reserve grade tonight. Very high scoring encounter won by the Bulldogs. 33 points to 28. As DeVico comes from the ground. The steam coming off the players as they break up after the scrum. Norton 12 metres away from his own line. Then Polomouta. Berrigan one more time to the 20-metre line. Still 10 minutes of the match remaining. It was 16-6 at half-time. And it's been Canberra who've added a further converted try, controversial as it may have been. And that pass looked forward along the line to El Masri. Pitch judge and referee quite prepared to let it go. So there couldn't have been anything on it along the line that they were watching. Mears. Polomouta stepping around Wolford before getting his kick in. Back on the 20-metre line, it is Lightning with the company of Bailey.
It's been a good performance by Canberra, and they'll win the game, but they haven't really at any stage put Canterbury away, have they? Canterbury, not a chance to win it, but they could get back into it with another try, and so it's been a fair performance without being a great one by Canberra.
It seems people that have been suffering from injuries for a couple of seasons now are copping them again. James Pickering, he's got a problem, Andrew.
Yeah, right, they've lost another one of the truth. Pickering won't be back. It's a problem with his left ankle. He's had all sorts of problems before, but never the ankle, so he's got a new one tonight.
Yeah, here's Polomouta now. 35 metres away. There's the medicos, or the trainers, working on James Pickering. He's had absolutely no luck at all, James Pickering. And, of course, I was inferring or alluding to Jason Croker when I made that comment about him. 20-metre line then as it's played by Price. Mears away from Burnham, standing in Hetherington, getting it away, and then Halligan for the corner. Well, Harrigan is talking to his touch judge and is calling for the video referee.
Well, very good lead-up work here. Robert Mears busting them up the middle. He's a smart player. Normally at Sydney City. Travis Norton throws the pass. Halligan spins around, looks as though he's going to score. Boyle coming across in cover. Difficult to pick up from that angle. This will be the best one. Yeah, it looks like it'll be a try.
Yeah, well, Darryl has taken the ball back to get about his goal-kicking duties.
Well, if he does score, Halligan, it's a tremendous effort because he had the attention of the man down low, Boyle. And that's fine.
Oh, he's done well to get it down, hasn't he?
Well, as you can see, Darryl Halligan getting on with it. He's absolutely certain that the try will be okayed. And here it comes from Chris Ward, the video referee tonight. Darryl Halligan scoring Canterbury's second try, and 22-10 at the 71st minute. And this conversion attempt is from just outside the 20-metre line. On the touchline for Halligan, and here it is coming around and just wide. Valiant attempt by one of the great goal kickers. 22-10. This was the break made by Mears, and that laid the opportunity for Halligan. And then a beautiful piece of finishing by Darryl Halligan to get Canterbury's second try.
Good work from all players involved there, wasn't it? Mears up the middle, Stephen Price supported, attracted two defenders. The pass from Norton was a good one, got over the arm of Royston Lightning, and then just a tremendous effort from Darryl Halligan to score this. I don't see a tougher put down. Well executed.
Canberra in receipt of the football. Here's Ruben Wiki able to get it past the 20-metre line before Hetherington forces it on another 12 metres, and then Wolford finding the running Wesley, but he's put it down. Polomouta on the halfway line, then turned inside for Matt Ryan. Pulled down out there by David Boyle. About 35 metres away from the Canberra line. Looks like Hetherington underneath all that. Play back for Mears. And then Polomouta turning it in for Newton. They go in for Relf and then for Berrigan. And Berrigan's on the 20-metre line. Mears again onto the blind side for Price and Gillies. 12 metres away from the Canberra line. Mears coming on the right. Polomouta drifting across. Dummies to Newton. Then takes the tackle from Wolford it was. Centre of the ground. Norton puts in a little kick. Berrigan's in pursuit. And the ball is with Luke DeVico for Canberra. So 6 minutes of the match remaining. And 12 points the difference.
I really think a couple of kicks by Travis Norton towards the end of this game were poor options. That one, I know it was a planned move with the player running through on the inside, but didn't put any pressure on. DeVico picked up fairly comfortably, and he chip kicked for himself any moments ago, and neither of them particularly good choices at this stage of the game.
Wolford eventually ran out of runners. He let the first one go, then the second one, and eventually finished up doing a 360. Now back for Daly to put the right foot on it. And down over the head of Berrigan, back to the 10-metre line. He's had plenty of work to do, and every time that he's been asked to return the kick, he's been able to make yardage. Ooh, that pass was meant for a Canterbury runner. It in fact went just behind one of the Canberra players coming back onside. Polomouta using the infield pass, the inside ball, quite a bit. Now it's with Kennedy as things go wrong for Canterbury, but you can't blame them for that. They haven't much time to try and pull something out of the fire.
He's played strongly, hasn't he, Luke DeVico, since he's come on tonight. It's one of the luxuries that Canberra has had tonight. They've used 4 props in Hetherington, Pongia, DeVico and Wesley, and they've all played very, very well.
Daly coming up into the front line, and Ferner is put down. He put his mark on the game very, very early at the 2nd minute when he scored a very soft try.
As Canberra keep the ball alive, Jason Hetherington limps off. Hetherington struggles to keep his arm free. He's had shoulder problems lately, now an ankle. On the kick through from Laurie Daly. Halligan should get back in the field of play, but slipping, no, he's not going to get there.
Canberra will get the ball back. 4 minutes of the match remaining. And that's bad luck for Daryl Halligan. As you can see, that slippery top surface, and it gets progressively so in Canberra. You can almost see the grass, other than on the field of play, starting to go white as the dew, and I would imagine the subsequent frost starts to descend.
It was a decent drop kick, wasn't it? 60 metres on the fly, that one.
Here is Ruben Wiki, away from Ward, away from another. And he's 35 metres out as he attracts 3 tacklers. That'll leave a gap somewhere. Wolford has found the gap. Down he goes to the 10-metre line. Not held. Quick played the ball. Stewart away for Wiki. Wiki gets the pass on for Burnham. Burnham for Clyde. Clyde away, and it's been recalled.
Yeah, forward past the last one. Well, they've been soft up the middle all night, Canterbury, and that's where Canberra have made most of their breaks. Now, here's the last pass from Clyde, and Mandrico had to reach for it.
Would have been some try. As Martin was tackled on his own 10-metre line. And Bill Halligan.
Well, he's lost that in the play the ball, Martin.
Putting a scrum down. So Canberra will just have enough time to inflict more points on Canterbury as a result of this mistake by Shane Martin. but he hasn't been alone in handling errors for the Canterbury side tonight. Now Daly comes up to his rightful position, although he's handled the fullback job very well. He has come into that position quite often during the match, and here's a bulldogging performance by Ruben Wiki. Then, beautiful little pass. I think it was Wolford, and he has put DeVico over for a well-deserved try.
Yeah, look at that one, mate.
The big man, DeVico, and I think it was Wolford. Now, Bill Harrigan might be going to question the pass.
Yeah, well, this is an interesting one because it looked like it was just a simple try scored with the dummy half going across field, committing a defender and then popping the ball back inside. I don't know whether Harrigan has got a question on the pass, whether he thinks there might be a shepherd involved. Maybe the obstruction or the shepherd is a worry for Bill Harrigan. Let's have a look. Wolford gets out of the dummy half. He turns the ball back inside. And it must be on the inside. It must be Ruben Wiki is the problem.
There's no problems there.
Well, he hasn't gone behind Ruben Wiki.
No one does anything. That's a try.
Yeah, it's dead set try.
Is it a try, Canberra?
I can't believe that there be any call for the video referee. There's the try anyway for Luke DeVico.
Well, I have to say, this is one of the very good things the Super League has done, is the video replays and the umpires. I think it's fantastic. It's good for the crowd. It's good for us up here in the box. Good for the people at home. It just adds to the night.
Yeah, Robert Ralph is claiming that Barry Berrigan was stopped by Ruben Wiki. The chance of getting through to Luke DeVico, but there's no problems with that at all. And that was really set up by all the pressure. And of course, Shane Martin dropping the football moments ago, early in the tackle count.
So David Ferner, he started the point scoring for Canberra, and it would seem that he's going to finish that way, converting the try scored by Luke DeVico. And Paul had only just finished singing his praises. He's come off the bench tonight, Luke DeVico, but he's been very, very strong. And there he is picking up a four-pointer that doesn't come along all that often. And the lead now is out to 18 points. It was 10 at half-time, and again, the woes continue for Canterbury. That was knocked backwards by Simon Gillies. Hetherington put away just outside his 20-metre line by Kennedy as the final seconds of this match tick away. And Canberra will go back into the 16-point bracket. They had been, as I said at the top of the telecast, leapfrogged by Hunter Mariner earlier this weekend, but Canberra now go back to where this weekend all started for them, aided, of course, by losses by Cronulla and Penrith. So as Peter pointed out in his pre-match report, it has a very big bearing, I would think, on the top three, a victory here for either of the sides tonight, and that side being Canberra by 28 points to 10. They scored 5 tries to Canterbury's 2, and Ferner kicked 4 from 5, Halligan 1 from 2.